Hello viewer. This video is the beginning of a series of short videos in which I hope to tackle some wider concepts in the realm of morality, authority, knowledge and experience, and to understand how to make better decisions through the application of the lessons gleaned from each. Originally I had planned to make a long-form video discussing personal morality and morality in business. However, the key to successful delivery is in keeping topics short, sweet and focused. So instead, I will produce a video on each aspect of each concept, and hopefully we will all end up better for it. This video's topic, as you may no doubt have guessed, is morality. What is it? Why is it relevant? And do businesses have it? Morality is defined by the Oxford English Dictionary as the principles concerning the distinction between right and wrong, or good and bad behaviour. Every layperson has some understanding of this: the moral compass, moral fortitude, the age-old question of whether psychopaths, lacking morals in the same way as most, are even human without it. Morality is both utterly subjective, depending on the individual and their upbringing, their role models, their unique experiences mellowed with the temperament of their personality, and arguably culturally objective, whereby most of the individuals in a society agree on certain precepts that should uphold a shared moral code. The idea that one should not steal, or lie, or murder, these are as close to a moral objectivism as we get, and it's a concept that has been wrestled with by societies ad infinitum, as demonstrated by the vast myriad of religions, legal systems, and self-help books on offer. Importantly, moral systems change over time, and the same can be said of individual morality over a lifetime, as it is tempered by the experiences we have. That's important for later, remember that. One of my favourite takes on morality is the idea of 6 moral foundations, created by a group of social psychologists that can be found at moralfoundations.org. And no, I am not receiving any compensation or the like from such a group. The 6 foundations are as follows. Firstly, care versus harm. This foundation is related to our long evolution as mammals, with attachment systems and an ability to feel and dislike the pain of others. It underlies virtues of kindness, gentleness, and nurturance. Most of us understand this intrinsically. Many want to have a career in an environment where they feel they are either giving back to the community in some way, or have the ever-ethereal make a difference feeling. Interestingly, this is more about whether the individual feels they are making a difference, as opposed to actually achieving one. Secondly, fairness versus cheating. This foundation is related to the evolutionary process of reciprocal altruism. It generates ideas of justice, rights, autonomy. This should also be fairly self-explanatory. It underpins the reason for law, for due process, and for the logic that led particularly the Western majority to realize that democracy and the value of the individual produces the fairest societies. Life is not fair, but we can damn well try to prevent it becoming too unfair. Thirdly, loyalty versus betrayal. This foundation is related to our long history as tribal creatures able to form shifting coalitions. It underlies virtues of patriotism and self-sacrifice for the group. It is active any time people feel that it's one for all and all for one. From this we generate a part of our identity based on presenting ourselves as loyal, or indeed to reject loyalty and believe attachment to a group is merely a means to an end. Both are valid methods of conduct. As I stated before, morality is subjective, however most humans feel loyalty is valuable. Fourthly, authority versus subversion. This foundation is shaped by our long primate history of hierarchical social interactions. It underlies virtues of leadership and followership, including deference to legitimate authority and respect for tradition. I will go much deeper into the concept of authority in another video, so you'll have to keep your eyes peeled for that. Fifth, sanctity versus degradation. Shaped by the psychology of disgust and contamination, it underlies religious notions of striving to live in an elevated, a less carnal, a more noble way. It underlies the widespread idea that the body is a temple which can be desecrated by immorality and contaminants. This idea is not unique to religious traditions. Finally, the 6th and most hotly debated foundation is this, the idea of liberty versus oppression. This is about the feelings of reactance and resentment people feel towards those who dominate them and restrict their liberty. Its intuitions are often in tension with those of the authority foundation. The hatred of bullies and dominators motivates people to come together in solidarity to oppose or take down an oppressor. This should be glaringly obvious in today's political discourse, with the ever-increasing polarization of the classes in the UK and the races in the USA. It is entirely up in the air, however, as to whether such feelings of reactance are valid complaint or grotesque ignorance. Given then that morality is a complex and emotive beast, and that business is an equally complex and yet corporate one, can a business have a morality? As previously stated, a sense of loyalty and in-group preference are powerful motivators for individuals to form cohesive entities. All businesses begin when a group of like-minded persons form around a product, be that intellectual or physical. The motivation is at least partially for profit, but new businesses often attempt to solve a problem, or to fill a niche, or to make the world better in some way. Facebook, despite being an incredibly profitable business, also has the drive to make the world more connected, and love him or hate him, that is still what Mark Zuckerberg wants to do, aside from his pet projects interfering in politics and personal data. This is arguably a moral goal, bringing people together and aiding social cohesion. The question remains, is the business moral, however, or are the owners moral and exercising his or her or their moral foundations through the company? Let's look at Steve Jobs, one of the greatest entrepreneurs of the last century, and his company, Apple. Upon inspection, Apple has continued in much the same way as Jobs intended. Its business practice has not changed much since he was alive, if anything attempting to hold dearer to the principles which underpinned its founder's vision. I believe this is due to the propensity of business to attract the morally like-minded to the top end of the company. Not only do you have to be brilliantly intelligent and unbelievably hard-working, but the moral foundation of the company must match with your subjective morality to succeed here also. Ben Shapiro, the outspoken Jewish conservative lawyer, has argued that public perception also makes or breaks business, in his case for lesser regulation and more free market economics. Agree or disagree with his conclusions, the rationale for his cases is sound. Advertising and perception have a great deal to do with influencing business behavior and consumer interaction. Shapiro argues this generates a kind of forced altruism, as the market looks for companies that give back and don't merely pursue profits relentlessly. You have only to look at the backlash on Martin Shkreli after his company pumped the price of a life-saving treatment to enormous heights to see the damage to a business that appears to void moral principles. In this way, I think we can say that business has a morality all of its own, shaped by profits, the shared morality of its directors, and the forced altruism of the market for big business to succeed. If you've made it this far in the video, well done, and thank you for muddling through this very basic concept of morality with me. I look forward to making more videos on it in the future. Please leave a comment and subscription if you haven't already done so, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts on this topic below. Thank you.